Thank you for joining us, our customers, and of course our strategic partner, Cisco. My name is Ryan Abel. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at Charter, based in Vancouver. I'm responsible for the sales and marketing team nationally, and I'm thrilled to be partnered here with Cisco, and particularly around the Meraki and Secure Connect story, specifically tailored for our SMB customers. It goes without saying that all of our SMB customers, whether you're in Vancouver, Victoria, Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, Montreal, regardless of your location, we know that you face similar challenges as your business seeks to grow and find new ways of being unique in your market. And through that dynamic landscape, the hybrid work environment has become the norm. And part of what we're going to cover today is all of your users and devices in that distributed environment that you probably face. How can you connect those? Make sure that they're reliable, secure, and simplified and easy to manage from a central point. And part of what Brandon, who is our esteemed presenter from Cisco, will cover is the Cisco Meraki and Cisco Secure Connect solution and how that addresses that need to manage your distributed workforce. Again, make sure that they're secure, can access all of the critical files and applications regardless of where they are through an intuitive cloud managed platform. And of course, fundamental to all of this is ensuring that platform is secure. So Brandon will certainly talk about that, deeper dive into some of the features and benefits around that, and how all of this compelling solution can help you, one of our key SMB customers, of course, SMB standing for small, medium business. So again, we are thrilled to have you with us. And without further ado, Brandon, I am going to pass the proverbial mic to you, please.
Great. Thanks, Ryan. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Wanted to just quickly get started here. Thank you for the quick introduction there, Ryan. So like he mentioned, yeah, we're going to be talking about Cisco Meraki and how we can extend that investment we've made in the Meraki portfolio to adding some capabilities within security, going just over the Meraki MX a little bit as well, showing off some of how we simplify that experience anywhere that you're having that experience, and then adding in Cisco Secure Connect. We're going to kick it and then end it off with a quick demo and then some next steps from Charter. So thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And then let's dive in. So, as Ryan mentioned, right, that distributed workload, right, today we're more distributed than ever, right? That hybrid workload is the new norm, with users and devices distributed across multiple locations, right? All the public access as well as private access. Applications and workloads are also distributed across all of those multiple locations, right? And all that complexity is left on our IT teams to manage things like latency between the connections, as well as extra complexity that comes with delivering a flawless experience to our users so that they're not trying to bypass our security measures. So when trying to bring that networking and security architecture conversation together, we start to run into some challenges. The complexity of the network, and bringing the security architecture as well. Operating those disaggregated networking and security environments where you're layering on multiple technologies, from probably a couple of different attempts. As new threats come out in the environment, new tool sets come out, new things get added, without necessarily having a clear direction on how to utilize all of these tools in a singularized fashion. On the user experience side as well, on the security experience effectiveness side, you're also seeing slow distribution of the threat intelligence to the different corners of your environment. You're seeing things like long-winded firmware updates and machines that constantly need to be updated and kept in constant readiness, as well as human error, right? So we talk about all the time about configuration and misconfiguration, and how we need to have better tool sets in order to make up for some of the human error that's involved in some of the policies and things like that we have to adjust. As well, being able to manage those assets wherever they are, whether those, and some of the tool sets that we have today are unsuitable, or are they the right tools, security tool set for that hybrid work or for that best connection? As well, this complexity adds to that hybrid user experience too. So we start to see poor SaaS and multi-cloud experiences, like I mentioned, extra latency by trying to avoid direct internet access connections. So you're making a bunch of different hops internally to make these different applications work. You're also seeing, slow identification and troubleshooting of hybrid users' experience, right? The issues that they might be experiencing and visibility across your local network when trying to assess some of that. The inability to get ahead of issues before they're occurring, and then the poor context of once they've occurred, right? The ability to say, how do I use my tool set, my varied tool set, to get that context that I need, that right answer in the heat of the moment if something is going on. And so while we're noticing a lot of this complexity that we're seeing within the convergence of security and networking, we want to show you how we're trying to simplify that using security with Meraki and then extending that with Secure Connect later on. So, Cisco Meraki is here to help converge security and networking and to simplify that comprehensive protection and that experience wherever you're logging in, wherever that experience is happening, right? We're doing that across a larger enterprise-ready cloud environment. So whether you're trying to support for Wi-Fi, for switching, for IoT, on top of those security concerns, Meraki can do it all in one intuitive dashboard, right? That don't have to leave this product to go to a different product to be able to make a decision or make an action happen. You can take care of everything you need in this unified solution, right? And that's what we need when we get into these disparate environments, is we need to have that single source of truth. We need to have that simple yes, no answer of, can I move on from this? What do I need to do? And have that ability to use the information that's coming into us to not interfere with what we're doing, but to help and move the needle forward. Our customers also mentioned to us that the dashboard is the #1 differentiator. So being able to not only cover the security concerns, but also do things like air quality sensors and be able to tie in your API integrations with some of the other tools that you have, being more open source to that ecosystem as well, so that you have more of that total security lens with Meraki. And why do we use a purpose-built cloud platform, right? So when using a purpose-built cloud platform, we're using that to ensure that we're getting that simplified approach, right? We're starting with something that was built in the cloud from day one, right? And so as you mature in your organization, as your company grows, there's no extra need for extra hardware, for extra costing, extra configuration, because these products are enterprise ready. They grow with you, and they're fastest way to scale, as well as keep an elastic branch and campus organization. And how are we doing that? So we're bringing in the intelligence of Talos, right? We're bringing in this is our cyber intelligence research team, right? There's over 500 researchers that we have today. And we utilize things like our footprint and route switch, which allows us to see and incorporate over 80% of the world's internet traffic today into these interjections to give you the best intelligence feed and give you the most up-to-date and most ready available data that we have. That's 20 times more than any other vendor that we're seeing out there. We're seeing over 500 billion different artifacts analyzed every single day. And we are seeing also too 1.5 million malware samples uploaded every day. So being able to utilize this security intelligence that we see it once and we block it everywhere in the network, regardless of where you are, and having that intelligence that if we see it, somewhere else in the world, we know that your environment is updated as soon as Talos updates. And so just taking a look at the Meraki MX portfolio really quickly from a testing perspective, right? So using that power of Talos, we were able to deliver on an industry-leading cybersecurity protection. We were, utilizing in the Miracom independent test against the 11 exploits that you see here on the right. we came out 98% effective in real world testing. This isn't lab environment. This is, real world malware. This is real exploits that were being tested and thrown at it. And we came out with 25% better efficacy on our malware in comparison to the industry average. And so across the portfolio, we're seeing, regardless of where you're making that investment within the Meraki MX, we're seeing this intelligence and this security across the entire portfolio, as well within the virtual environment within VMX. So for those cloud environments, for those Azure or Google Cloud or something like that, as well, you're getting this networking capability for your SD-WAN applications, and being able to, embed things like Wi-Fi 6 into those LTE modems and bring that SD-WAN capability into including that multi-cloud support to whatever the application that you have. And so we're just going to go really quickly through a couple of different things that you get with the Meraki MX today. I'm going to focus on these 4 that you see here and show you just how we're simplifying some of these conversations and through the Meraki MX. So with the stateful firewall, we're slashing that repetition. We're giving you that advanced networking application and identity firewalling all in one place, suitable for any team, intuitive configuration and identity-based policies, and it grows without the complexity of adding upgrading management software, management servers, anything like that. And then from an IDS, intrusion detection perspective and intrusion prevention perspective, we use Snort 3.0, which is the largest, real-time and intelligence database that in the world. And the MXs are actually the platform that contribute the most to that, to deliver that intelligence. With a simple drop-down menu, you can activate this protection already. Signatures are automatically updated, so there's no need to download and manually integrate these kind of things. As well, we work in containerized into architecture to avoid firmware updates for critical patches. From a malware perspective, we have the prevention, detection, and response capabilities enabled within that simple drop-down menu. Within 2 clicks, you can have this malware protection enabled on your Meraki MX devices, so that you have that prevention, detection, and response capability within those just within those 2 clicks, and the ability to right-click, block, and have that update across the environment. As well, we have automatic protection from the 500 million known files, as well as the 1.5 million new incoming file samples that I mentioned. Instant alert of malicious files, as well as retrospective detection, taking that 30-day look back to see, through those threats if anything has changed, or has any disposition changed across the 30-day window. As well, protection against unknown files, right? With a drop-down menu, you can activate Threat Grid. Threat Grid is our sandbox environment. It allows you to right-click and send any file, anything up to our sandbox environment, and within 7 minutes, you're getting that reporting back, giving you that introduction of what's going on and what happened in that sandbox environment, so that you have more answers at your fingertips when it comes to file analysis. As well, with URL filtering, you can block content from built-in categories as well as custom URLs. So we have that built-in category as well as the ability to customize. Categories are updated by Talos automatically, so you don't have to go and update anything. And then you can customize that by adding in different user groups or different identity-based policies. So you can tie that to your Active Directory, and then you can also customize by user groups and be able to filter policy and a URL policy that way. So now let's talk about extending those capabilities when we add with Cisco Secure Connect. So now we're going to add those with the rise of cloud technologies, tool sets where applications are being moved out of the traditional database or data center into those hybrid environments where users are kind of everywhere. The traditional perimeter no longer exists, and this multi-cloud environment leads to operational costs, complexity, added security risks. Organizations are no longer as secure as they used to be when they had that traditional perimeter, and the attack surface has increased significantly. In 2023, we ran a report, and 41% of CIOs said that securing user access to cloud-based applications was their biggest challenge, their biggest obstacle. So to help solve for this, a significant majority would like to see a consistent operational model in this hyper-distributed environment across both on-prem and in the cloud, and adding that simplistic value when it comes to the technology management as well. So, we're still having that distributed and diverse challenge, and as that attack landscape expands and expands and expands, it becomes even harder for us to secure that connectivity and keep those users safe. We then come back to the multi-vendor approach and talk, a little bit about how your teams are using a patchwork of security tools today with all sorts of different consoles, interfaces across on-prem environments as well as the cloud. They're struggling to see and react to the onslaught of alerts that are coming across at them every single day. And your teams are highly skilled. These are highly valued and experienced people, but they're stretched too thin, right? They're at their absolute limits and are prone to things like fatigue and burnout. And we're constantly seeing struggles when it comes to things from separate dashboards, deployments, policies, engines, integrations, API integrations, different reporting that's disparate, alerts as well as incidents. And this is hurting the security team's productivity and morale, right? It's not helping the situation. The more tools we just kind of stack on top of each other adds to that complexity and that disparity of the single source of truth. Also too, it's getting worse as we add and layer on, right? So for all these reasons, it's a good there's strong trends, and you're seeing this single vendor consolidation, right? Single solution consolidation to reduce that complexity as well as improve the visibility and the security. So I want to talk a little bit about that consolidation with the secure access service edge. And so SASE requires, very little to no hardware and employs those cloud technologies to combine the best of SD-WAN, that secure fabric, the internet performance-based routing, the on-prem unified threat management, as well as the capabilities with that with Secure Connect, right? The firewall as a service, the secure gateways, the CASBs or cloud access brokers, as well as that zero trust network access, providing us data loss prevention capabilities, as well as SSL decryption. And so just want to quickly show you here, with Secure Connect, this is what it looks like in the Meraki dashboard. Now, we'll obviously go into it a little bit more in the demo, but just to show you, simple, consistent operational model across premise, right? So we're using that to reduce the complexity and the risk, keeping it within that single pane of glass, if you will, that single user interface. That helps us to not have to jump to multiple different dashboards and different tool sets. We have it all in one place. And we're streamlining the management of the networking and the security within this dashboard to provide this unified SASE approach. And so that we have this centralized management with distributed enforcement, like Ryan mentioned earlier. Some of the major use cases that come with Secure Connect. So securing the internet access, right? So being able to provide those users with that safe access to the internet wherever they're logging in, wherever that interaction or where they're logging into that application is happening, and then being able to wrap around the malicious activity and threat capability to block, as well as securing private access, right? Being able to deliver secure access to those private resources, private applications within those private data centers or private cloud, and all being able to continually have that visibility and capability to provide that seamlessly so that we're not interrupting the user experience. And then being able to interconnect sites using the fabric, right? So dramatically being able to reduce simplify the architecture by being able to, as long as it connects to the fabric, it's connected, and then it has that level of security. So not looking at policy over here, but more intent-based policy that you can derive from this tool. So wanted to get into some of the things that you're going to get with secure internet access, right? So on the cloud delivered threat protection front, you're going to get that DNS layer security, right? So you're going to be able to have that man in the middle stopping that traffic before it reaches the network. You're going to get layer 3, layer 4, layer 7 capabilities with firewall and cloud delivered firewall and intrusion prevention as well. Able to stop things like non-web-based threats. Secure web gateway, so you're going to have full URL visibility and control beyond the .com, right, to enforce your policies, to block the advanced threats, to do things like time controls. As well, you're going to have cloud application and data security, CASB and DLP capabilities. I'm going to go into this in the demo a little bit and show you a little bit later, but you're able to not only discover but report data at rest as well as in line and see that application use, whether it's public or sorry, whether it's corporate or whether it's a public or personal account. Sorry. And then from a remote browser isolation standpoint, right, being able to offer, say, the C-suite in your organization an ability to use a remote browser without any of the effects that if they click on something malicious or have a malicious link come through that redirects them to a browser. That browser is remote, it's not in your environment, and it just gets canceled, killed in the cloud, and you wouldn't have any other, everything loads up like it would normally. You log into google.com, the web page is going to load up, the search is going to be the same, there's no latency issues or anything like that because it's all hosted in the cloud. And then being able to have that threat intel interactively embedded into your tool sets along with you. I'm going to show you in the dashboard a little bit later how we can take a look at information that sticks across the way. As well, on Cisco Live, we mentioned that Meraki data is now coming into XDR as well, and that should be available shortly. So we'll be able to bring in not only log information but user information as well as any sort of access policy, anything like that. We'll be able to bring that into our XDR integration as well. Then from a private access, so we're going to take a look from delivering that from a cloud delivered remote access. So least privilege access, obviously. So we're ensuring every posture, every application has to log in. So whether that's whether they logged in at one point and then moved from, say, a finance application to an HR application, we're going to take a look to see if we need to do a push, if we need to re-authenticate that user and to what level, so that they're not having to go through a cumbersome security recheck, if you will. And then flexible zero trust network, whether clients or clientless, right? Being able to provide those zero trust policies. VPN as a service, so being able to split tunnel as well as do full tunnel deployment support. Application support security, so that's intrusion prevention as well on those private applications. And then device posture and MFA supports through Duo and the Duo integration, and then also to having that XDR capability within that private access as well. And then taking a look at it from an agent perspective. So having that SASE agent live on the dashboard or living on the endpoint, sorry, giving you advanced VPN capabilities, endpoint compliance, so being able to check to make sure that certain policies are being met on the endpoint. The network visibility to be able to capture user behavior as well as network flows and endpoint behavior. Cloud Edge and SASE integration, so you're being able to use the secure web internet gateways as well as that DNS security, getting that reporting as well, being able to have that all those capabilities on that edge. And then end-to-end encryption that we talked about, right? So being able to reduce the risk for any data in motion. So how are we doing that? So we're centralizing that management and making sure that that enforcement is distributed across, right? So with the Secure Connect dashboard, you can we've basically designed it around two principles, right? So interconnecting everything as well as securing everywhere. So interconnecting everything is about keeping things as simple as we can, right? Simple principle of simplicity. Whereas if it attaches to that unified SaaS fabric, it's connected, right? And will allow for that seamless access for users, for devices, locations, and to those resources and applications across that fabric. Admins don't need to worry about the different architectures or the technologies where different resources are sitting, and they can focus on setting simpler policies to capture intent-based policies and capture their intentions when trying to create these policies. And then ensuring that this is an open platform, it's future-proof. And then from securing everywhere, right, that we're enabling that centralized cloud management so that you have that distributed enforcement all from one place, one single source of management. And enables you then to essentially extend the cloud edge to the enterprise edge and allow those customers to leverage their existing investment as well as extending those existing policies from traditional perimeters to that cloud edge. Okay, and so, sorry, my screen froze there for a second. Okay, so I am going to flip over to the demo of the dashboard really quickly here and bring that up. Okay. So, and as you can see here, just going to refresh this in a second. There we go. So as you can see, the dashboard is the Meraki dashboard we all know and love today. Everything's listed here on the left as it all is, but as you can see, we've got Secure Connect in here now. So from the Secure Connect perspective, I'm going to show you a couple of things. I want to show you policy. I want to show you where DLP lives, as well as some of the DNS integrations. So let's start with the overview. And so as we can see here, we're getting a live feed of the security events that have gone on. We've got this from just the last week, but we can look all the way to the last month as well. And then over here, we've got the policy count, live policies that are being applied across the environment. You can see the sites, number of network tunnels, if anybody's connected from a remote access perspective, as well as your private and public applications. I'm going to pivot over here to the DNS just to show you the integration now with Cisco Umbrella and the Secure Connect integration here. So a couple of things to mention. We are a couple of months away from this portion living within the Meraki dashboard. As you can see today, we have a return to Secure Connect button that allows you to pivot back and forth. Eventually, this will be migrated into the Meraki dashboard, so it is just one, there's no pivoting back and forth. But just wanted to bring up for for everyone here, just to quickly show one of the DNS policies. Right, so here we can, edit our identities, right? We can go by our groups, our users, we can pick individual applications, appliances. We can go into security settings here, and we can pick the categories, we can pick, the different categories to block. As well, we've got integration points here as well, so we can bring in some of our integration partners here as well to use those API connections to further that scope in one single view. Here we can take a look at contact access. So we actually have low, medium, or high. You can also do custom, but you can take a look here to see what's in high. Take a look and we can move it to moderate, for example, and then you can create custom blocks here based on the content category. We also have some legacy categories as well, but really allows you to customize those content access blocks. From from destination lists here, you can see we've got some global block lists, and we have the ability to apply these destinations lists across our policies. And you can see which policy this affects and applies to here. So it applies to 12 identities and contains 6 policies. Also, too, when we're going to add a policy, we can add right here. We're going to walk through a quick little dashboard like I was showing of what do we want to do, how do we want to be protected, and then we also have a policy tester. So we want to say which identity we want to test against to see which policy and how it would run, and then the test basically run the test and see who it would hit, which AD group, which user, which site, and get an understanding of how a policy would be applied before you actually go to apply it. I'm just going to pivot back now, and we're going to show you from a data loss prevention perspective or a DLP perspective here. So you can see here that we have the built-in classifications already, so you don't have to preload these. You don't have to upload a bunch of classifications. We have them already pre-built. You can take a look at the different take a look at the different policies that are identifiers that are in each one, and then, for example, GDRP is already built in here. You can pick that, or HIPAA compliance already built in, and you can see those data classifications get added to your real-time rules that you're creating for DLP. And then just want to show you where policies live within Secure Connect here. So if we go to the policies overview page, here we can configure all of our policies kind of all in one spot. The ones for Umbrella will pivot you back to Umbrella, like I showed you before here. So for DNS, web, and DLP policy, you will have that pivot point where you'll have that return to Sales Connect or Secure Connect button. But eventually, these will all just live in this dashboard of Meraki. As well, here you have all the different policy setting components. So you can take a look at all the various things that you need. So say, for example, I wanted to add some tenant control. I can do that here. It will launch over to Umbrella and will pivot me into the ability to do tenant control. And then just going to show you from an application perspective here, from private and public applications, what that looks like. So as you can see here, we've got 2 private apps, for example. We've got finance over here as well as HR patient portal. And you can see, we can give it a name, description. We can define the app for network-based access or browser-based access or both, and have those policies running and have them associated to our private groups. We can also do that for public applications. So I'm going to pick on Dropbox here, for example, because it's giving us a medium risk. We could put it over to Umbrella to get more information around the application. And what this will do is it will take us over to app discovery within Umbrella. And will give us kind of a scoring and why, as well as some information around who's been using it, what the vendor is, what the vendor score is, and what the weighted risk is from a business usage and vendor compliance perspective. If I go over here, I can show you the larger app discovery as a tool within this dashboard. You can see here how many unreviewed apps we have, how many apps under audits, any apps that are approved or unapproved, as well as if anybody in our organization is using things like anonymizers or peer-to-peer sharing, games, which could be taking away from or throttling the network. We also can take a look at, the requests by app risk from DNS, from a web perspective, as well as a firewall perspective. Apps by category and their risk. And that all is within the Secure Connect dashboard. So why take your SASE journey with us? By doing SASE, you get to do it your way with us, right? Via a modular, customizable, and extensible product. Solutions and services that are from a proven and trusted security leader. Our approach provides identity-aware, secure applications, no matter where you're making that connection, when it's being made, or from what device, and whether that connection needs a VPN connection or not, right? Our approach is to be as open as we can as well. So we bring in a ton of application integrations through API integrations, as well as we work with, in XDR, for example, we work with all sorts of different vendors out there today to bring you that largest telemetry that we can, and the best intel threat feed that we can as well. So we also have, the largest commercial threat intelligence team, right? We talked about it earlier with Talos, right? So having that best of breed, 500 plus researchers, a little bit more now with the Splunk integration, but having that team dedicated to be over your shoulder, making those threat indications for you, so that you have that single source of truth, you have that single pane of management, and you have that ease of use when it comes to converging your network and your security together. So some next steps. To learn more, please take a look at our MX family data sheet, which Meraki's MX is right for you. There's Meraki sizing principles, as well as some more information. There's trainings, there's webinars, there's all sorts of different things as well. I'd also highly recommend, if you are doing telework or remote work, take a look at the Z4 box, which is built for telework for remote workers. Start your free Meraki trial, right? Always fresh, it's always new, always never getting anything that's already been used elsewhere. And that's at meraki.com/eval. Get your free trial of Secure Connect, so reach out to Charter to get started, and reach out, whether it's a pricing or technical question, get in touch with Charter. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Charter.
Brandon, thank you very much. If there are any questions from any of our customers that are on, whether you want to post them here or afterwards, we'll have our account managers that work with each of you to reach out and have further discussions. Again, grateful for your time. We are a little bit ahead of schedule, which I think everyone certainly appreciates in our busy days. We do have a couple draws, and our marketing manager, Dawn Van Galen, will coordinate with each of you to send those out. And I'm pleased, and I apologize, I'm going to do my very best to pronounce the names. I know we met recently, but Safe from Terminal City Club, we drew your name as one of our prize winners, and Van Lam, we also drew your name. So congrats to both of you. As mentioned, Dawn will reach out to get your coordinates and send those prizes your way. I'll pause for a quick moment if anybody does want to come off mute or pose any questions in the chat. Okay, otherwise, on behalf of Cisco and Charter, thank you again for participating. We look forward to having more conversations with you on this. Bye for now.
Thanks.